A question I frequently get, how do you set up an effective low block? Now, I understand the challenges in previous editions of Football Manager, but right now, Football Manager 23, the low block is very, very good. You just let the opposition bring the ball to you, and then if they lose the ball, you counter attack. Like this. Come on, come on. Finish the story beautifully, man. Oh, I don't believe it. We almost got the winner. That was like David De Gea had his foot to it. We got a corner in the last couple of seconds of this match. Aston Villa won. Come on, David, taking your own tweet time. Okay, come on. Aston Villa won. Manchester United won. Since the beta dropped, I've been doing live streams almost every day on BTN Live. That's our YouTube channel. And I've been creating lots of tactics. Recently, we've been creating tactics which were low block systems, and we've used them with Aston Villa. Of course, we're going to shift out of those low blocks very soon because low blocks aren't the only way you should be playing in the game. You can also set up very good ultra attacking tactics. Now, for now though, today's video is going to be all about the low block. If you want to see me with playing some ultra attacking tactics, that's going to happen very soon on the live streams. So I'm going to be talking about one specific tactic. There are other variations you can make with a low block, but you can take the same principles and apply it to those tactics as well. Now here is a tactic I would call a 3-5-2 on FM23. Why do I call this a 3-5-2? Because you're going to have these three players helping you defend. These two players are going to be in transition higher up the pitch because that's how wingbacks are playing in the new match engine. Then we will have this DM who's going to be pushing up slightly more because pivots are playing differently. If you want to find out how pivots are now playing differently, I've just done a video on the match engine changes. You can go check that one out. Okay, so up top, we will have a pressing forward and an advance forward because we are sitting deep and we want to hit teams on the break. So we don't want to waste too much time getting the ball forward. The whole tactic is basically a highly structured tactic. We've got wingbacks giving us width. In central midfield, we have two roles that are going to support the wingbacks as they bring the ball forward. A Carrerello on the left and a Mazzala on the right. It's very important not to be hamstrung by roles. When you go into the game of Football Manager, a player will play to that role based on the attributes and the traits that he has. If that player is fundamentally a playmaker, you can put him in a role like a Carrerello and he will occasionally play those kind of passes. He will play a pass that will switch ball to the other flank, or he may even play a killer pass. So remember that when you decide the roles you want your players to play. In this tactic, I've got McGinn here playing as a Carrerello. I hope as I fix this because it's really annoying to have to scroll down when you want to look at traits. But he has got killer balls, comes deep to get the ball, plays 1-2, likes to switch ball to other flank. That is basically telling me he's a playmaker. So when I play him here, he's going to occasionally switch the ball to the other flank, which is what we want. We've got wingbacks bombing down the flanks. If he switches the ball to the other flank, it's going to be directed towards the wingback who can then play one back into the area, and this can be a very dangerous pass. There are other reasons why I'm using the Mazzala and the Carrerello. This is to pull systems that are playing with two DMs apart. I want to pull those DMs further away from the center by using roles that play in the half space. What about some play instructions? You might be thinking this must have some fantastic play instructions, right? Well, surprise, surprise. There are none. The only players who have player instructions are the two ball-playing defenders because we want them to stay wider. I don't want them to be too close to the central defender in the middle. When creating low block systems, we have to understand certain principles. When we are defending, we want to be compact. We want to deny opposition teams place. We don't want to be running around trying to close down everybody because that just opens space up. We also don't want to defend so deep as to allow them to have easy long shot opportunities. We want to be deep, but we want to be sure that we are not defending inside our own area. Otherwise, we're also going to have to deal with things like long shots, which could pose a threat. Since you're sitting deep, you also want to think about your traps. Here, we've got a DM. We've got two central midfielders. This is a perfect area for us to trap inside. We don't want them to go down the flanks. If they go down the flanks, they only have to deal with one fullback, and potentially they could pull a defender out with it. So I want to force them to play inside into this area where we have at least three central midfielders. And if we get a counter-attacking opportunity, chances are more of their players are going to be committed in this area. We can play one over the top for our two strikers as well. This is very much a door-bolt system. We don't want to be running around too much trying to press opposition players. which is the reason why our trigger press is only set to medium. Then we also want to get stuck in. We want to drop off more. So we are playing a standard defensive line. I don't need my players to be stepping up, trying to catch players offside. Instead, I want them to keep falling back. When they keep falling back, they are just going to make it harder for opposition teams to find space behind our lines. And then we will try and trap them inside. This is the area where we want to trap them because we've got half more players in the center. If I trap them outside, they're going to go down the flanks. They only have to deal with a fullback and potentially a central defender. Now, if that happens, they could pull this area apart. They could easily get inside and behind us and get into good goal scoring positions. Finally, we want to stop the crosses. That means we are going to expect our fullbacks to try and deny them a chance to do a cross. I mean, if I have very, very good central defenders, I might just leave this unchecked. But here, I'm just going to play it safe. The next instruction is pretty much a preference. Now, I typically like to draw the press, meaning I want the opposition team to try and press my defense. This will commit them even higher up the pitch, opening space up behind them. So I tend to like to play the ball out of the defense so that they have to come and press me. When they press me, it opens up space. I can hit them on the counter in a 3-pass move. We're not going to check counter press or regroup. I'm just going to leave this unchecked. Counter is a definite choice here for our system. Finally, the less is more. When it comes to team instructions, all we need is hit early crosses. We can leave this on slightly more direct, slightly lower, and width. Now, this is the interesting thing. If you want to encourage the use of the flanks by your wing backs, you can actually go further. This will encourage the use of your flanks, and you can actually push the ball out earlier to your wing backs so that they can drive the flanks. I will only do this if my wing backs are fast. Alphonso Davies fast. If they aren't fast and they have got poor dribbling, then I will probably play like this. If you want to play a low block, start on balance and work your way downwards. Because the lower your mentality goes, the more compact you become. And the interesting thing about this on Football Manager 23 is that your duties are still going to be trying to get out to attack. So your wingbacks are still going to try and play that ball out. Your strikers are still going to try and score goals. You're still going to be able to see those 3-pass moves leading to a counter-attacking goal. Now, if you're the sort that was used to be playing an attacking mentality in the past, I suggest at least starting it on balance, because I know for the majority of you, playing it on very defensive is a very new territory to enter. But if you've seen any of my live streams lately, you would have seen how happy I am to be playing on very defensive mentality. It is definitely a viable option right now on Football Manager 23. Just take a look at some of these XGs that have happened against me. Sides have been trying to break us down. Sides like Tottenham Hotspur, sides like Manchester United, they have tried to break this defense of Aston Villa down, and they have struggled to find their way into the back of our net. They have not found it easy to score against us, and it's been fun playing this kind of football where we are sitting in a low block and we are denying team space. On top of that, the intensity of our tactic is pretty low, which means that I can dial things up if I need to, which is amazing. Right now on Football Manager, you can actually dial things up. So if you're playing one of these low block systems, the opposition team gets tired, you put 3 fresh legs on the pitch and maybe 1 new striker. Do you know what can happen in the dying minutes of the second half? You could easily be scoring 2 or 3 goals. Yes, the low block system is very potent here on Football Manager. Does this mean the death of gegenpressing? Of course not. Ultra-attacking tactics are still very strong. The mistake I see most people make is simple. They're using the same principles from 22 and trying to apply them to 23. They're not changing their out-of-possession instructions. You need to play with a different set of out-of-possession instructions on FM23. On the next live stream, I'm probably going to be playing with a few ultra-attacking tactics. I hope you can join me for that. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me those questions below. And of course, these tactics are available. When you pop in on the live stream, there's a Dropbox folder that you'll have access to. And yes, those tactics will be in there. I hope you enjoyed today's show and you found it useful. Meanwhile, you guys stay safe, take care of each other. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.